Hungary's new Prime Minister has officially been sworn in, almost a month after he swept away his predecessor, Viktor Orban, in parliamentary elections that brought an end to his 16 years in power. Peter Magyar, 45, who leads the centre-right Tisza party, propelled into office on promises of change after years of economic stagnation and strained ties with key allies under Orban.
And Bahrain's Interior Ministry says it has arrested dozens of people in the country accused of belonging to a group linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. The ministry announced the arrests of 41 people in a statement on Saturday, saying legal proceedings are underway against them.
Major new development projects have been approved in Lahore, including a 5-star plus hotel built to international standards, as CBD Punjab pushes ahead with fresh commercial expansion in the city. Among the key projects is the Regalia, a luxury residential scheme that is expected to become one of Lahore's flagship high-end developments. The project will be built on a 7.1 canal plot in the CBD Cade district.
And a new scientific breakthrough has raised hope for completely curing type 1 diabetes after researchers successfully prevented and reversed the disease in mice. In the study, scientists treated mice by transplanting donor blood-forming stem cells together with insulin-producing islet cells. The approach created a mixed or chimeric immune system, meaning the immune system became partly donor and partly recipient. And Pakistan's rising squash star Mohammad Ashab Irfan continued his impressive run at the PSA World Championships after defeating Switzerland's Nicolas Müller in the opening round. World number 48 Ashab, showing excellence, control and confidence, secured a 3-0 win over world number 31 Müller with scores of 13-11, 11-9 and 11-0. And Sense has introduced the GX Ultra, a new 27-inch gaming monitor with a dual-mode mini LED display that stands out for its unusual resolution and the ability to hit high brightness levels. The Hisense GX Ultra uses a glass-based mini LED panel with 2,304 local dimming zones. Hisense said the monitor uses its Obsidian display technology LEHut along with a zero optical distance backlight design that places LEDs closer to the LCD layer to improve contrast and reduce light bleed.
Workers at a Samsung chip factory have been on strike over issues related to unpaid overtime and bonus payments. Estimates cited by the Financial Times suggest a full-scale strike lasting the planned duration could cost Samsung between $6.9 billion and $11.7 billion in direct costs. However, Samsung Electronics management and employees in the company's memory division have reportedly made progress in negotiations over bonus payments and wages.
And Instagram has discontinued its most secure form of direct messaging on Friday, 7 years after its parent company Meta first introduced it on Facebook Messengers in 2019. End-to-end encryption, E2EE, is a method of relaying information which allows it to only be viewed by the sending and receiving devices.
Australia's far-right One Nation party has captured a seat in the country's House of Representatives for the first time, according to preliminary election results. Dave DeFarley, a former agribusiness consultant, is on course for a decisive victory in the special election for Australia's southwestern division of Farrer, located in New South Wales State, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported on Saturday. Iran's Football Federation has said the men's national team will take part in the 2026 World Cup that begins in June, but demanded that joint hosts the United States, Mexico and Canada agree to its conditions amid the Middle East war. The call on Saturday comes after Canada refused entry to the federation's chief last month before the FIFA Congress because of his alleged links to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, the ideological arm of Iran's military, which it designated as a terrorist group in 2024.
And the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa KP Health Department has made it mandatory for patients to provide their computerized national identity card, CNIC number and mobile phone number when getting outpatient department, OPD, slips at all government hospitals and medical centres across the province. The decision is aimed at improving transparency in the healthcare system and maintaining accurate patient records for better medical follow-ups. And security researchers have identified more than 5,000 publicly accessible web apps created with AI coding tools that reportedly lacked proper security protections or authentication systems. According to a report from Wired, researcher Dor Zvi and his team at Red Access analyzed thousands of applications built using AI development platforms, including Lovable, Replit, Base44, and Netlify. And Australia is expected to tour Pakistan with a relatively inexperienced squad for the upcoming three-match ODI series, with several senior players likely to miss the tour. According to reports, many of Australia's leading cricketers are currently involved in the Indian Premier League, IPL, while a few experienced players are being rested ahead of the upcoming Test season. And the Women's National Selection Committee has announced a 15-member Pakistan squad for the three-match T2I series against Zimbabwe women. The series will be played at the National Bank Stadium from May 12 to 15.
The Met Office has predicted that a fresh westerly wave is likely to approach northwestern parts of the country on 10th May and likely to persist in upper parts till 12th May night. Under the influence of this weather system,
and Israel will release 2 foreign activists taken off a Gaza-bound flotilla from detention on Saturday before handing them to immigration authorities ahead of their deportation. The rights group representing them said Saif Abu Keshek, a Spanish national of Palestinian origin, and Brazilian Thiago Avila were among dozens of activists aboard a flotilla that was intercepted by the Israeli Navy in international waters off the coast of Greece on April 30.
A year ago, Pakistan and India fought a short but intense war, the worst military confrontation between the two nuclear-armed neighbors in decades. During the period of Mark-I-Haq, the battle for truth, Indian fighter jets were shot down and Pakistan launched Operation Bunyanam Mahsus, a barrage of attacks against Indian military targets in retaliation for missiles brokered by New Delhi. The conflict ended with a US-brokered ceasefire.
And private companies participating in the Punjab government's wheat procurement programme are struggling with financing problems, pricing disputes and strong resistance from farmers, reported Dawn. Under the 2026 wheat procurement strategy, the Punjab government planned to procure 3 million tonnes of wheat through 11 private firms instead of relying on the traditional state-led procurement model. And memorabilia belonging to late model and movie star Marilyn Monroe is heading to the auction block, offering a rare glimpse into the private world of one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. Items up for sale include pieces from her wardrobe and jewellery, letters, handwritten notes, paintings and poetry. Marilyn is just an icon, said Brian Chains, Senior Director of Hollywood and Entertainment at Heritage Auctions during a preview of the collection on Friday. And people love and adore Marilyn to this day.
Karachi, The Special Investigation Unit, SIU, on Saturday claimed to have arrested an alleged supplier of crystal methamphetamine, commonly known as ice, and an extortionist in separate actions in the metropolis. The SIU and a federal civilian intelligence agency, acting on a tip-off, jointly carried out an operation at the Lyre riverbed and arrested the narcotics dealer in an injured condition after encounter. Who? Barcelona versus Real Madrid. What? La Liga where? Camp Nou, Barcelona, Spain. When Sunday at 9 p.m, 19 GMT, how to follow. We'll have all the build-up on Al Jazeera Sport from 16 GMT in advance of our live text commentary stream. With the sting of Champions League disappointment fading but not forgotten, Barcelona are aiming to clinch back-to-back La Liga titles on Sunday when they host bitter rivals Real Madrid.
Russia has held one of its most scaled-back Victory Day parades in years, citing the threat of attack from Ukraine, where a decisive victory for Moscow's forces has remained elusive more than 4 years into the deadliest conflict in Europe since World War II. The May 9 parade on Moscow's Red Square is Russia's most revered national holiday, a moment to celebrate the Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany and to commemorate the 27 million Soviet citizens, including many from what is now Ukraine, who were killed during the war.
The United States military has killed 2 narco-terrorists, leaving 1 survivor in its latest attack on vessels in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. U.S. Southern Command SOUTHCOM announced the attack in a statement on Friday, accompanied by a video that showed a moving boat being struck by a missile and then bursting into a ball of flames. Capcom has officially released Leon Must Die Forever, a new free game mode for Resident Evil Requiem. The company announced the update through its official social media channels alongside a short trailer. The Punjab government has decided to take strict action against people who dump animal waste and remains on roads, in drains, or at other public places during Eid al-Adha. The GOVT has announced a hefty Rs. 50,000 fine for dumping animal waste, along with legal action.
And the Sindh government has approved the establishment of modern vehicle inspection centres across the province under the Public-Private Partnership PPP model. The initiative aims to improve road safety and reduce environmental pollution caused by unfit commercial vehicles.
The Lahore High Court has ruled that all property-related cases involving overseas Pakistanis will be heard by special courts, widening the scope of those forums beyond simple possession and ownership disputes. In an important decision, the court set aside the objection previously raised by special courts overhearing such matters and made it clear that their jurisdiction covers all cases linked to the property of overseas Pakistanis. The government has moved to revive nearly $6 billion in planned refinery investments by addressing tax and policy hurdles that have delayed major upgrade projects across Pakistan's oil refining sector. A high-level meeting chaired by Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb on Thursday signalled renewed momentum for the long-delayed brownfield refinery policy. Officials discussed proposals to exempt machinery imports from sales tax and introduce policy protections aimed at restoring investor confidence in refinery modernisation projects.
And the World Health Organization chief said on Saturday he had arrived in Spain and would join government officials to oversee the disembarkation of a hantavirus-hit cruise ship in the Canary Islands. I arrived in Spain and where I will join senior government officials in a mission to Tenerife to oversee safe disembarkation of the passengers, crew members and health experts from MV Hondius cruise ship, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said on X, stressing, and At this stage, there are no additional people on board showing symptoms of hantavirus. And Dananir Mobeen believes fans shipping her and her co-stars might make her future partner a little uncomfortable. She appeared in an interview with Something Hot where she talked about this, her experiences growing up as a celebrity and the worries her parents had about her work. Whoever I will be with in the future, I also don't want them to get uncomfortable because of all of this things circulating, going around, the actor said.